In this world of on-demand video, news, information, and entertainment, what more could you want? Poet and cultural critic Jason Guriel's answer comes in his new book, something of an ode. It's called On Browsing. And it brings Jason Guriel to our studio. Nice to meet you.
Great, nice to meet you. Thanks for having me.
Well, how did the seed for this book get planted in the first place?
It was about a year into the pandemic. I was very tired of being online. I was working from home. I'd spent the year basically in front of my computer. We were helping our I guess at the time our 5-year-old with his online kindergarten. We were ordering stuff online, and I was just sort of tired of screens in general. And so on a whim, I wrote this essay that was kind of like, almost like a screed against scrolling. Scrolling felt like the thing I was doing all the time.
You know why it felt that way?
Because
you were scrolling all the time.
That's right, and I was really missing the experience of being in like a bricks and mortar shop and like combing through books and used CD bins, and so I wrote this essay on a whim. And I sent it to an editor at the Walrus, not actually thinking they would be interested in it. This is an editor who I know, and I wanted his opinion. I thought it was too like nostalgic and too almost like curmudgeonly and reactionary, right?
We love all that, though. We love nostalgia. We love curmudgeonly.
I'm in the right place.
You
then.
are, totally, yes.
So, I was surprised when they took it, and then when they ran it, I was surprised to see how well it did. Like, it really traveled. A food editor at the New York Times linked to it, The Athletic linked to it. It sort of went viral. And then my publisher, Dan Wells at Biblioasis, he wrote to me and said, would you turn that essay into a small book for us? They have this line of little monographs that are called field notes. And he said, would you write on browsing for us? And so that's how it started.
I want to do a little quote from it, if you don't mind.
Sure.
Okay, here's you writing about browsing with your dad. Dad was the purest of browsers. He rarely bought anything. Just browsing, we sometimes say when we want the sales associate to back off. Dad was always just browsing. He loved to visit expensive watches, ties, and pens in their display cases, hands clasped behind his back. He was born in 1922. Could summon memories of the Great Depression, and didn't possess a credit card until late in life. If he wanted something, he saved up for it. And while he saved up for it, he visited it. To browse was not merely to consume. To browse was to move among beautiful objects. The mall, as Dad saw it, was something like a gallery. This sounds like a truly lovely bonding experience for you and your dad, was it?
It was. We loved the mall. It's kind of what we had back then. And my family didn't have like a lot of money. Like, so we didn't travel a lot. Like my sister and I, we weren't in like a lot of extracurriculars. When it was the weekend, we went to the mall, and we went to the mall usually on Saturday because at a certain point, there was no Sunday shopping for a large part of my childhood. So the mall was like, it was an outing. We went to the food court, which was like a huge treat back then. And it was sort of liberating to just kind of be on my own, on foot, with like a little bit of spending money by myself for like an hour or two.
Now, I can see people who are watching this, they're doing the math in their head right now. His dad's born in 1922, and how old are you?
I'm 44 right now. So I was had a little later in his life.
You think?
Yeah.
Is there a story there?
Not one for today's broadcast, probably.
Okay.
But I was the product of a second marriage, and so I was quite late in life, and so he had a different orientation to like shopping and browsing, and as you say, like the credit card. I don't think it appeared till maybe the late 80s, early 90s.
That's hilarious. That's a very 1922 thing to do.
Yeah, for
Not
sure.
get a credit card till later. Browsing and shopping, are they the same thing?
They are not. I think they're very different. And like researchers who look at like consumer behavior, they draw a distinction as well. shopping, as I see it, is very linear, very transactional. Like you need some detergent, you go to Shoppers Drug Mart, you buy the detergent, right? It's a very functional activity. Browsing has been defined by some of these researchers as like shopping without necessarily an intent to buy. It could be for informational purposes or recreational purposes. I see it as a very aimless activity. You might wind up making a transaction, but quite often you set out browsing in a kind of aimless way. It's almost like closer to wandering in some respects.
I need your view on this, because I was told once upon a time that it is actually very unfair to merchants to browse if you have no intention of actually purchasing, because you get their hopes up only to dash them because just browsing. True or false?
Probably true, but I will say, browsing opens you up to possibilities and to, I would say, serendipity. You can set out, you can actually have something in mind when you're browsing. Like maybe you are looking for something, but often in my life I have found myself browsing through a bookstore or a music store and stumbling onto something I hadn't expected to find that day. I hadn't set out to find it. And it wound up being like a book or an album that like changed me in some respects, which is kind of an amazing thing.
Can you remember one off the top of your head here?
I remember maybe 20 years ago being in a used CD store off Queen Street and picking up an Elvis CD, and it was called Tiger Man. And it had a pretty cool cover. He was in his sort of like late 60s leather suit. And at that point in my life, as sort of a young music nerd, I thought Elvis was kind of a kitschy joke. And I had some vague sense that he had been the kitschy joke, but he'd had a kind of comeback at one point. And I looked at this CD and I thought, maybe this is that thing. I really didn't know what was in it, but I bought it on a whim. I had no idea I was looking for that day. And when I played it, it was the most electric, raw, soulful, ferocious rock and roll music I'd ever heard. It completely changed my view of Elvis. Like, to this day, I throw that album on and think, this is incredible. It was like a live recording of him with his band just messing around. And they did it for this 1968 TV special. But it blew me away, and I hadn't set out to find that, and it changed my view on the King forever.
The joys of browsing.
That's right.
There you go. You write that the first mall was designed by a socialist named Victor Gruen. Is that how he says his name?
I think so.
Okay. Why did he pioneer the mall in the first place?
Well, it was an interesting figure. He had a utopian vision. At that time, so he designed the first mall that came out it sort of opened in 1956, I should say. It was the Southdale Center in Minnesota. And he had this vision that suburban areas needed some kind of dynamic hub for like concentrated community, because at that point, suburbs were like sort of metastasizing all across North America. They were very car-based communities, and they were very dispersed. So he thought this would be a place that would bring people together, and they could shop, but they could also like visit the doctor. They could go to a post office. There might be art galleries. There'd be communal spaces. Exactly. Yeah. His vision like never quite came to pass. Like malls became like more about stores than anything else. So the food court is probably like a vestige of that original vision. It is sort of a place where you can kind of congregate. My dad, late in life, he loved walking over to Cloverdale Mall, which is still there in the west part of Toronto. And he'd get a coffee, and he was retired, and he'd meet other retired guys in the food court. So it still had a little bit of that vision that Victor Gruen, kind of originally saw.
Right. I want to show you a clip from a movie that really describes to a T that which you wrote about. And I remember when this came out. I saw this in theaters when it came out. It's called High Fidelity.
That's right, yeah.
And, it speaks for itself. Sheldon, if you would, the clip.
I will now sell 5 copies of the 3 EPs by the Peta Band. Do it. Band. It's good. I know.
John Cusack, he's great. What does that scene tell us about browsing?
Well, it sort of speaks to the importance of like the physical space in terms of like bringing people together. You know, I will say that I have never looked at something I bought online and thought to myself, I remember when I was sitting on my sofa in front of my laptop and pressed click, right? But I can look at, you know, books and CDs in my basement on my shelves, and I can not only remember where I got many of them, I can remember like interactions I had with clerks who like maybe pointed me at the particular thing or steered me towards it. I remember being, you know, in the world's biggest bookstore as a high school teenager.
Was that Edward Street in Toronto?
Yeah, just near the
Near the bus terminal.
Yeah, that's right. Near
Yeah.
like near the Manulife Center, right?
Further south.
Yeah, and I remember being in the world's biggest bookstore and looking at a novel, Snow Crash by Neil Stephenson, a great science fiction novel. It's actually the novel that came up with the term metaverse, which has now been appropriated by
We know who.
We Know Who. And I remember just sort of staring at it, and a clerk walked by. This woman walked by, and she was like, "That's really good. You should buy it." And it just tipped me over the edge, and that became a novel that I loved. I went on to read other Neil Stephenson books. You know, when I was in university, I would hang out at the York University bookstore. I made a friend of one of the clerks there. And Soundscapes was a great music store in Toronto that actually closed during the pandemic.
Where was that?
It was on College Street, just west of Bathurst.
Okay.
And it was like an institution, maybe the best music store this city ever had. It had been around for 20 years. And you know, you'd go in and you'd say, I'm looking for album X, and they'd be like, yeah, but you really want album Y, and they would take you over, and they did it from a place of like love and like authority. Like it wasn't an algorithm recommending something. These were people who really cared about what they were doing.
We still love that human contact, don't we? We need it.
I think we do, and I don't think I've ever had. You know, I guess you can meet people online and you can get recommendations on Twitter or whatever, but I don't think I've ever had an experience that really approximates what it's like to be in that physical space next to other life forms and someone leaning over and being like, you should go for that.
Is it an exaggeration to say that at these music stores, for example, there are communities of people that actually develop and stay in touch?
I don't think that's an exaggeration. I think that's true. I don't think I ever, you know, fell into what I would call necessarily a community, but I made friends and I got to know people.
This, I mean, based on what we've been talking about so far, may be obvious, but physical records versus digital music. Is there any question in your mind which is preferable?
I think the physical media is always preferable. I mean, I'll tell you a story. Like this past summer, we were visiting my wife's parents, and my son really wanted to see Despicable Me because the Minions movie had just come out, and we went on to Netflix, and it had been there and it had just come off. It had sort of vanished, and it was obviously a great disappointment. And we were driving back to Toronto, and we stopped at a mall in Belleville that has not one, but two music stores, which is sort of shocking because Toronto malls don't really have, Toronto malls have gotten very luxurious. They don't have, you know, stores for that stuff anymore.
No.
And we found a copy of Despicable Me for $4.99, and we watched it in the car on the way home because I have a little portable DVD player. And he's starting to get that, like it's important to have stuff. Not just the stream, right? But it's important to have stuff because it's sort of ephemeral when it's on Disney Plus or Netflix. It can kind of vanish.
Having said that, you know, the economics around digital versus stuff are pretty compelling. And I wonder if you see a day coming when there will no longer be any bricks and mortar stores where you can buy this stuff, and where we will not have the option of purchasing an LP or a DVD or a CD ever again.
It's possible. I think it's a long way off. I think books are going to be okay. We lost a lot of bookstores in Toronto, but they have sort of over the last 20 years they've rebounded a little bit. I think the e-reader thing has not. I don't think it's gonna like drive books into extinction.
Great when you got to go on vacation.
That's right.
Rather than take 12 books, if you take an e-reader, that's. But you know what you can't
Yeah.
do with an e-reader? You can't do that. Wide shot, please, Mr. Director. Over there, I mean, behind him. Look at that set. I mean, this is what books do. They have an aesthetic beauty to them as well.
And you don't have to charge them.
You don't have to charge them. Yes, that's right.
That's right.
Yeah, very good. Okay, what's one piece of physical media that you feel you could not actually, you mentioned the Elvis thing, but try something else. Is there something else that you have right now that you think, gosh, I just absolutely need this and cannot imagine doing this on a digital format, for example?
I mean, all of it, I kind of want to say. You know, I have so many books that have been signed by authors over the years, and they're tied to those moments and those memories, and I can't imagine parting with them. That book I mentioned, Snow Crash, that I bought at the world's biggest bookstore, I remember I made the mistake of loaning it to a friend in high school, and it came back, and I'm sort of fussy with my books, right? And so it came back like he'd broken the spine, and it was like scratched, and it looked like it had been through a war. And it always sort of gutted me. And then I remember before the pandemic, I was combing around for a copy of that, the original paperback, but like a nice mint copy because I'm weird that way. And I found one on a bookstore on College Street. She Said Boom. I found a mint copy of this 90s paperback. And I swear to God, I opened it up, and there was a receipt inside from the world's biggest bookstore, and all the paper around the receipt was like a sort of a dark yellow because it had you know the oxidation or whatever happened, and I was overjoyed to find this exact copy of this book that had been destroyed, which I still had the destroyed version. And then I brought it home, and it's just not the same as the original copy. So it has not ultimately replaced that one.
Just finally, though, you're too young to worry or think about this, but do you ever wonder, you know, somewhere down the road, what you're going to do with all that stuff? You don't have to worry about what you're going to do with a digital copy of a song that you love. But if you got an LP or a CD or a DVD, you actually have to do something with it someday.
I mean, I hope my kids will discover some of it and enjoy it. Like when I was a teenager and my sister had sort of aged out of listening to music, I kind of inherited all of her Walkman cassettes, and that's how I really got into music. So I hope that maybe they will find some use in it someday. But I almost can't bear to think about about that moment. So I'm not going to think about that.
Good. Don't think about it for a while, but you're going to have to face it someday.
I know.
Take my word for it. I'm sort of there right now. Jason Guriel, he is the author of On Browsing. Started it as an essay. You know what I loved about the book? Slender. Nice.
It's a quick
It is.
read.
You didn't blow us away with 500 pages of
That's
stuff.
right.
This was a good, nice-sized book. And we thank you for coming into TVO tonight and talking to us about it.
Thanks for having me.
The Agenda with Steve Paikin is made possible through generous philanthropic contributions from viewers like you. Thank you for supporting TVO's journalism.